Imagine this. You wake up in a world where no one tells you what to do. You can choose your career, your beliefs, your future. It sounds perfect. But soon, the weight begins to press down. Every choice is yours. Every mistake is yours. And suddenly, freedom doesn't feel light anymore. It feels heavy.
Die Deutschen in der Tschechoslowakei.
Not communism or Marxism.
Политическая держава, которая поддерживает колониальный режим.
그래서 대리장 석간에 등단하신 건 사랑과 공신으로 제출해요.
History has shown us a dangerous pattern. Whenever times get hard, people look for simple answers. A strong leader who promises order. A party that says, "Trust us, and we'll fix everything." But simple answers to complex problems are never really answers. They are traps. Hitler promised revival. Stalin promised equality. Mao promised unity. Each time, the price was freedom and millions of lives. Even today, populists rise by saying what we want to hear, that the problems are easy, that they alone can solve them. But behind every simple slogan lies a dangerous truth. It's never that simple. In a dictatorship, life is simple. You don't need to think about politics. You don't need to question the news. You don't even need to decide your future. The answers are already written for you. Your role is to obey. Restrictive? Yes, but also, for some, comfortable. Because democracy is demanding. It asks you to stay informed, to vote, to think critically, to accept that you might be wrong. And this is exhausting. Psychologists call it decision fatigue. The more choices we face, the more tired we feel. That's why many prefer someone who says, "Don't worry, I'll choose for you." There's another reason: fear. When the world feels chaotic, wars, inflation, migration, climate change, we crave order. And strong leaders promise exactly that: safety, unity, clarity. But it's not real order. It's just control disguised as protection. And finally, there's identity. Many people feel lost in modern society. They long to belong to something bigger. Authoritarian leaders know this. They say, "You are not alone. You are part of us. We are the truth." It feels powerful. It feels simple. But it is always an illusion. Because true strength comes not from obedience, but from freedom. History is full of promises that sounded simple. Each one began with hope. Each one ended with fear. Hitler promised revival. He gave people a clear enemy to blame. He promised jobs, order, pride. For a time, many felt secure. But the cost was destruction, genocide, and war. Stalin promised equality. He spoke of a society without class, without injustice. People believed him. They trusted the simplicity of his vision. But equality never came. Instead, millions were imprisoned, silenced, or killed. Mao promised unity. He spoke of a China where everyone shared the same purpose. The Great Leap Forward was sold as a path to prosperity. But it led to famine and the death of tens of millions. Each time, the pattern was the same. Short-term comfort, long-term catastrophe. That is why order without freedom is not order. It is submission, and submission always ends in suffering. History is not just history. The same patterns repeat today. Populist leaders rise with simple slogans. They divide the world into us versus them. They promise a return to the good old days. It feels familiar. It feels safe. But it is the same illusion. We have seen what happens when people believe these promises. Hitler, Stalin, Mao. The result was always the same: submission and suffering. Do we really want to risk repeating it with today's leaders? Look at Russia. One man's power turned a nation against freedom, and the world is paying the price. Democracy is fragile. It can be lost, not only through war, but through the slow erosion of truth, trust, and choice. Freedom is not only political, it is deeply personal. Today, many people feel lost. Studies show rising levels of depression and anxiety, especially among the young. Why? Because freedom is not just opportunity. It is responsibility. We are thrown into the world and told, choose your career, choose your values, choose your future. But no one gives us a manual. And because nobody wants to live badly, we feel constant pressure to live well, to succeed, to make the right choices. This pressure can feel crushing. It makes freedom feel less like a gift and more like a burden. And this is why authoritarian voices sound tempting. They say, don't worry, we will decide for you. It feels like relief. But it is only the relief of giving away your life. True relief does not come from losing freedom. It comes from learning how to carry it together. Every vote we cast is not only a political act, it is also a reflection of our inner world. When we feel fear, we often vote for those who promise safety. When we feel frustration, we are tempted by those who shout the loudest. When we feel lost, we look for leaders who offer simple answers. But these choices are not really rational. They are our emotions voting for us, our fear, our anger, our dissatisfaction. And populists know this. They feed on it. They take our private struggles, our anxiety, our loneliness, our frustration, and turn them into weapons. Weapons that destroy trust, divide communities, and slowly tear apart our societies. We live in an age of information. But more information does not always mean more truth. It means more noise. Democracy only works if citizens can tell the difference. And today, that is harder than ever. Fake news, emotional slogans, algorithms that show us only what we already believe. So what can we do? First, slow down. Don't trust the first headline you see. Check if the source is reliable. Ask, who is saying this? What do they gain if I believe it? Second, listen beyond your own bubble. Democracy is not about winning arguments. It is about hearing voices, even those you dislike, because only then can you see the full picture. And third, choose with care. Don't vote for the loudest promise. Vote for those who focus on real problems: education, healthcare, jobs, climate, safety. Not imaginary threats, not easy enemies. Because democracy dies when people stop thinking, but it grows stronger when citizens choose with care. Yes, these are only words. And words can sound beautiful. But how do we really defend democracy? How do we truly protect freedom? Not with slogans, not with blind faith, but with vigilance. Freedom is defended when citizens refuse to be silent, when they demand truth, even when it is inconvenient, when they respect others, even when they disagree, when they choose responsibility over comfort. Philosophers have long said, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. And that vigilance is not only for soldiers or politicians. It is for all of us, in the way we speak, in the way we choose, in the way we care for one another. Because freedom is not defended once. It must be defended every day, not by a single act of heroism, but by millions of small acts of courage.